YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Last Cloudia information and guide video that I haven't quite made in a long time if you don't count the character build videos. But I just recently got a comment on the latest 5-star Rimuru showcase that reads, Boods, can you make a tutorial for grinding crystals at the fastest rate rather than just waiting for the training banner? I'm having a hard time buffing my units right now because I don't have enough crystals, so if it's possible. That was by John Mark Aban, or Aben, however you say that. Thanks for the comment, my man, and I figured this would be a good quick guide that I could make that will probably help a lot of new players that are getting into the game as they are joining for these most recent collabs, anniversary that's around the corner. Good time to start making these kind of general guides, at least on how I am achieving these crystal grinds. And if you couldn't tell by the comment, we're not talking about the premium currency used to summon on the gacha. We're actually talking about the different colored crystals. You can see we have the fragments and then red, blue, green, and purple and their respective tiers. How do you grind those up? Because that is the material that allows you to upgrade a unit's ability board, which I talk about all the time, is one of the essentials in building and making your unit stronger. Probably, if I had to just throw out a ballpark number, 75% of a unit's potential is unlocked through this. Definitely the majority. You gain all of the innate skills. You can see that as you increase and get up to those latter tiers, it becomes quite expensive on the crystal end. So farming those crystals is definitely something you want to get down pat. And so I just wanted to go over kind of the steps it takes to get to a point where you are farming a substantial amount of crystals. You saw in my inventory the amounts that we're sitting on. It seems like some are way higher than others, and there is a reason for that. And I'm going to address it all in this video. So it all starts with, of course, what you should be focusing on early game, which is pushing the story. You're going to get crystals passively by clearing stages. But then, once you need to be upgrading your units further, of course, you're going to be relying on event mission rewards. If we look at that, the ones I've received, you can see that it's quite nice, even in the current collab event that's going on. Right, getting up to 1,600, 1,900, 22, and then 2,500 points, you get 100 of each of these smaller, like tier 1 colored crystals. And that is a sizable amount, especially when you're focusing on one character, which you should be doing. Helps increase their board a lot, and was definitely a source of upgrading my first unit, which was Divine Beast Ray, back when I first started. We don't currently have either one running, but obviously the Grand ability gate, which is much different than these standard ability gates that are kind of on rotation daily. Now, these are going to be used for your mega cluster grinding more often than not. However, these are typically not going to be useful for just your typical and average crystal farming, right? Your tier 1, 2, and 3, your crystals, your crystallites, and your clusters. This is not where you want to spend your orange orbs to farm those. It's just not a great return. I never spent a lot of time doing that, especially early game. I just relied on the Grand ability gate. Now we have the training field and event mission rewards in order to upgrade my character. But the true end game goal here is setting up an auto-farming team for Imperial Guard Commander 3. It all goes back to that stage, guys, and why this is so important is because once you can get a good auto-farming team down, right, as I've shown off before, you'll want to push, even if Imperial Guard 3 normal is all you can get. Let's look at the drop table. We get crystallite fragments, we get green crystals, crystallites, and blue crystals, crystallites, as well as rainbow crystals and crystallites. This is going to be huge for you, even if you can only set up a team to auto farm in IGC3 on normal, because then where you're going to be getting the majority of your other crystals is by using the Alchemy lab here, guys. This is where you can accomplish a lot of different things, right? Let's say you farm IGC3 for a whole night, and then you end up with a couple thousand green crystals. And let's say you have enough green crystals, but your board is struggling with the crystallites. Well, lucky for you, you can now break down 99 of these, get 297, which is no small amount, and boom, now you've got a nice chunk of crystals. Well, do you need crystallite fragments? Lucky for you, we can go further down the chain of alchemy and take those crystallites, those green crystallites we just got, break them down in order to get some crystallite fragments. Boom. So while you are able to transfer all of these things, you will also be leveling up your alchemy level, which is a big deal. Getting it to level 10 is what will allow you to start upgrading and creating those Godforge weapons that you hear a lot of us endgame players talk about. This is a great way to do that, by actually using the alchemy lab to exchange for the mats that you need in whatever project or character you're focusing on at that point in time. Now, early game, it is quite daunting when you see that like 99 crystals is a lot. So foregoing those in order to get like the fragments, for example, it just might not seem too realistic. However, that's where the necessity of a constant and long auto farming process comes in, because as you can see, your boy has put in some auto farming hours, resulting in, like you saw, over 5,000 of the crystals, of the green crystals that we got. I think blue and reds are just more used than greens and purples for some reason. That's why my stock of blue crystals is a bit smaller, even though with IGC3, you get both blue and green around the same amount when all is said and done. Reds are the only one that we don't have quite a great auto farming stage for red. And I think there are stages to grind that help you get red crystals, red clusters, purple, like individual colors. But for me, the IGC3 farm and then the ability to just come in here and alchemize whatever I need is way more lucrative than like trying to figure out individual stages for individual colors. That's just my opinion. That's my sentiment on it. Some people might disagree. But I've obviously been farming the Maja auto farm stage, chapter 6-8, Heart of the Temple, which only drops the purple crystals, but luckily we now have a plethora of purple crystals, almost 6,000, which transfers directly to red. So it's not like I have to go from purple to green to blue to red. Having purple go straight to red allows it for a very easy conversion for me to just stock up, back up on red crystals as soon as I need them, without worrying about my purple crystal stock so much. So it's really just about getting that auto farm strategy down. There are plenty of different videos that I've made, Tweaks has made, I think even that Zero has made a video on auto farming and strategies to help you start building your initial auto farming team. But it also brings up the point, if you do not have a device or if you don't plan on auto farming in this game, you are going to be at a severe grinding disadvantage. That is the fact in today's current game climate. So it's either going to turn you off from the game, or it's going to emphasize the necessity to at least do some form of auto farming in this game if you want a pretty decent material maintaining in your account. So that's about all I have to say. Side note, don't get confused. Pay attention to which way the arrow is pointing, because I've seen a lot of people convert their clusters into like a ton of crystals, thinking that they were trying to do the opposite. I mean, the fact that they limit the crystals to clusters to 5 times a day is kind of a bummer, but it's still definitely worth it. As you can see, like, we just converted a ton of different red crystals, and the clusters are ultimately harder to come by, so we're definitely going to take advantage of that when we have a good plethora at our disposal. But that's how I maintain my crystal, guys. It's just basically endless auto farming on my PC with a very quick strategy for both IGC3 and Heart of the Temple, 2 of the best auto farming stages in my opinion. So that's gonna do it hope that this video helped maybe redirect your focus. I know it's probably going to be some news that most people don't want to hear because auto farming is kind of a sore subject for many players, but that's how your boy does it, and that's the advice I can give. So make sure you guys are paying attention to what you have. Go check out those auto farming team building videos that I mentioned, and like, subscribe, bell notifications. Y'all know the drill. I'll see you guys next week for the information dump and update on Shift Milim that's coming. We also did just get that update that a lot of things are going to be changed for this second part of the event grind. So that's a bit unrelated to this video's topic. So we're just going to close it out by saying, work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.